What's up, Goody Gang? In this video, we're going to discuss just exactly who Yuji Itadori's parents are in Jujutsu Kaisen. Now, if you're an anime only and care about future spoilers, I highly recommend you click off this video at this point. That being said, major manga spoilers are ahead, so now let's jump right in. Yuji Itadori from day one never mentioned his parents, only his dying grandfather, Wasuke Itadori. We know that his death played a huge role in setting the foundation for Yuji's character and motivation as a whole, that being his desire to save everyone and help people, but what we don't know is why his grandfather raised Yuji in the first place. Yuji explicitly refused to hear his grandfather out when he tried to tell him about his parents while lying on his deathbed, so little to nothing is known about them until chapter 143 when we see a flashback depicting Yuji's mother and father. First, let's quickly talk about Yuji's father, Jin Itadori. The son of Wasuke Itadori, Jin is shown holding baby Yuji while having a talk with his father. This talk bears great importance as it sets up the little we do know about Jin. Wasuke tells Jin to, quote, give up on that woman because you'll die. He tells Jin that he knew he wanted a son and that didn't happen with Kaori, who we can assume was Jin's ex-wife, as in the next sentence, Wasuke starts to mention her death when he's interrupted by Jin's new wife and Yuji's mother, who questions what they were talking about. Now, let's move into Yuji's mother, which is the interesting part of this story. When she's first shown, we can immediately see the scars on her forehead that are indicative of Kenjaku possessing a body. We see this in the present as he's taking over Suguru Geto's body, in the past as Noritoshi Kamo, and even as recently as chapter 187 when he possessed a body while speaking to Kashimo Hajime in the distant past. So, the basic answer to this question, who is Yuji's mom, is Kenjaku. You may be thinking, wow, what a shocking revelation. But is it really? From the very beginning, Yuji has had physical prowess on par with the strongest sorcerers in the series. And why? There was never an explanation of this until now, and it all kind of makes sense. Another thing, we saw Kenjaku masquerading as Geto back in chapter 23 watching over Yuji and Junpei's initial interaction, and when the two of them hit it off, Kenjaku says, jackpot. We know how the story goes from here. Kenjaku and Mahito plant the finger on Junpei's mom, she dies, he goes on a tailspin and is eventually killed by Mahito, which brings Yuji forward in his career as a sorcerer. Junpei was 100% used to develop Yuji's character, and now we know that this was orchestrated by his biological mother. Yes, I know it gets kind of hairy here, Kenjaku. This conception of Yuji by Kenjaku is made even more clear when we examine his relationship with Chozo, the only remaining cursed womb death painting character. After initially siding with Kenjaku in the early fights, something clicks in his brain, and he realizes that Kenjaku was actually Noritoshi Kamo, his evil father, and at the same time, he pictures Yuji as his brother for some reason. This literally makes no sense to anyone. To me, it was a moment similar to Toto's imagination of Yuji growing up as his best friend slash brother, but we know now that there is some truth to this relationship. Chozo continues to act as Yuji's brother up until the very present part of the story, and in a way, he actually is. As Noritoshi Kamo, or Kenjaku, was his father slash creator, Yuji's mom was also Kenjaku, so they are, in a weird way, half-brothers, so to speak. One more piece of this puzzle comes in chapter 160 when Kenjaku personally escorts Sasaki, who was Yuji's friend from the occult club back in his old school, during the culling game. He explains this place as the creator of the game and some more stuff that's irrelevant to this video, but in his last sentence to her, he says, I almost forgot to tell you, thank you for getting along with my son. This line is very powerful when examining the situation. It raises a couple questions for me. Does Kenjaku truly care about Yuji, who I assume could be his only biological relative in the current time period? And what was his purpose for creating Yuji? As for the first question, I personally don't believe Kenjaku truly cares about Yuji as a person or a son. He's an ancient evil entity that is literally trying to change the world for the worst, so why would he even care about Yuji? Well, that leads into my second question. Why did he create Yuji? I think that he created him solely as a vessel for Sukuna. We don't yet know how or why he did this, but I have a feeling that it'll come to play a massive role later on in the story and after the culling game. Just think, Kenjaku literally created Yuji as a vessel for Sukuna, manipulated the placement of his fingers to be right where they needed to be in Yuji's path, and personally guided all his villains to play a specific role in Yuji's character development, Mahito most of all. He has some kind of master plan up his sleeve regarding Yuji and Sukuna. We're just not quite fully aware of it yet. Let me know down below why you think Kenjaku created Yuji and what his plans for him are in the future. Well gang, that's all I have for you this time. Remember to leave a like and subscribe. Check out the video or playlist linked on screen for more, and with that, I'll catch you next time. Peace.